Madam Honorable Minister for Education Najia Honorable Haruna no hanye nye BFN agbene hu koni wole taflache akocha meni nkeba money joti na enye wo hia ni wokeba leji Honorable Minister for Education Honorable Haruna Iddrisu ke Education Director ye BN agbe Professor Odro leji money eta efan ye BN agbene monita te leji mlawo kwenyo ke ha akucho nemi wobana ke womlawo kwenyo ni je Honorable Teresa Wuni na for leche mo bana Okankwe North ye biene agbene education onupai ni ye bi ofa ne ba woni nyeni no aha okay yo ofa ne ke wo baba bi boni owie ehye minister ke ha ni ke ekweshi fen ke maja chemefen afi ayani ebani nawo minister eba wie mo ne shi oti hewo ni wo ba bie ni wo ba hanu mo afi ni agbene educational fund na efi o minister ke hemi sho jugban wo ba eba ko ne kala na sanigba ke agbene egbejano to ko baya no ye abebe ni ji march nyomi ni eba suma ke eba foni ni echele Shimaha Minister Higbe, yo fine yo. O fine few he won over ne.
Our revered Royal King and Majesty Takite Kuchro II and his very respected elders of the Dangme state. I bring you warm greetings and felicitations from Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and from my good self, and to use this opportunity to wish the overlord of the Dangme state good health and long life. We are still in January. This is my first opportunity to convey to him my best wishes on behalf of government and on my own personal behalf. For the new year, God will usher him and us all into his grace. And to acknowledge him and the profound strides he is making to support education through the establishment of his Education Trust Fund, and to assure him that the state will partner him to open the doors of opportunity for many of our young people to be able to access equitable, quality, inclusive education. What I admire about Nitaki is his commitment to the development of the human capital base of the Dangme people. And I'm also here to give him my firm assurances and the assurances of the Ghana state that it will be unthinkable for government under President John Dramani Mahama, with me as his Minister for Education, to think of the integration which must reflect our diversity as a people. Every society is its culture, and language is at the forefront of the definition of that culture. And therefore, it will be unthinkable for government to roll out any indigenous language policy and exclude the Ga language. So, Nitaki Churu II, be assured that I would not supervise that, and President Mahama will not tolerate nor accept that. Beyond what President Nkrumah did to promote multilingualism in our country, I have been at the forefront of the use of indigenous language to be at the center of our education learning curve. I would continue to maintain same, whilst recognizing that English remains our official language and our language of instruction at all levels. There's an Oxford literature I have read which assures me why the Ga language and 12 other languages, if I have your permission, Akwapim Chi, Asante Chi, Dagbani, Dagari, Dangme, Eve, Ga, Gonja, Kasim, Nzima, Grunle, and Mfansi. And more importantly, we're even trying to include sign language as our 13th official language. So if you've seen me here, let me give you further assurance that before March, the end of March this year, I will convene an indigenous language conference on education, and that you have my invitation today to come and chair that conference in Ghana and for Ghana. We will be inviting the like of Kwesi Pra, one Ghanaian expert that I'm yet to make contact with, to come and present papers on the integration of indigenous local Ghanaian languages. There is evidence, as I have stated, from an Oxford publication that learners who use their indigenous local language do better, and their phonetics are better. And there's evidence that it has improved learning outcomes. So, my assurance, I know that in the last 24 hours, whilst I was on my trip in London, it is true that I met with Google and the leadership of Google in education to discuss language recognition and its translation. At the time, Google itself had piloted only 3 languages. I have requested them that will not proceed in Ghana if they do not include the 12 official Ghanaian languages, including Ga. I have had good assurances from them, even on my way here, that this is the first time they are getting this policy support from government, and they will do the needful. So be assured that the Jimny Google initiative on the use of indigenous language will necessarily include Ga, Dangme, and Hausa, and those 3 other languages that were piloted. So my comment probably, you use your majesty powers to assure the elders and the good people of that Ga, Dangme that I would not, out of respect for the people of Ga, Dangme and your stool and skin, and that of the Ghanaian people, it is President Mohammed's vision that we integrate multilingualism in our educational curricula. In fact, I have publicly even demanded that many people must write about Ga, and we need teachers' handbooks and other languages, not necessarily Ga, whether it's Dagbani or it's Ewe, it's Fanti, it's Twi, it's Ewe. We need more literature. So part of my coming here today is to rant to you. The Dagombe said that if you see a pregnant goat in the market, then it means there's a pregnant problem at home. So I'm not shy of it. I've had to come to rant to you, to give you the assurance so that you convey same to the Ga Dangme society that you so ably lead, and to assure them that indigenous Ghanaian language, there is no major advocate of its use than me today in Ghana. In fact, this has been recognized even by the British authorities. And as I've said, there is evidence to the effect that learners do better when they learn in their indigenous language, and learning outcomes, evidence-based, have improved with it. What we need is to train more teachers in the Ga language and then deploy teaching resources. So I'll be happy for you to chair the meeting for us in March. I'm sure if it's the pleasure of President Mahama that he's in town, he will be happy to open it, and then we will intend to upscale it. So once again, thank you for, I gave you very short notice. I arrived only last night from London. And then let me share this nostalgic moment with you before I assume my seat. I'm accompanied by some of your able members of parliament. To my left, our host MP. And you know, graciously, I've lived in Bubuashi here for the last 20 years. Wow. Yes. Oh, even when I was MP minister. So I've been under your care. And then I hope the reason why I must support the teaching of Ghana, I share this real story with you. You know, as you sit here, this used to be the district magistrate court. So when I left law school and started practicing law, I used to be very early here, 8:30, 9 a.m. I was here to find my daily bread as a young lawyer. So one morning, Your Majesty will respect, I had come in with my wig, and I saw a young accused person who was then in handcuff. And you know the court won't allow even the accused person to enter where the plea is taken with handcuffs. So I rise to the sister and said, oh, I want to be your lawyer. This was in this building. Then the sister said, okay, Haruna, I'm sure at that time we negotiated some 200 Ghana, which could get me papaya or some lunch of kenke and fish that morning. So with respect, as I entered the courtroom here with my wig, the accused person was put in the dock and asked in Ghana. And you see, my Ghana was poor. That is the reason why I work to improve it. Or your being now or your for was a question. Or your being I know or your for. So this is a real life story here. The presiding lady judge was here. Before I could sit down, my accused person said, oh, yeah, for he pleaded guilty. So in my rise to get up, my wig fell down. And the magistrate kept smiling and looking at me and said, counsel, you know the law on the matter. Once accused person have pleaded guilty, I have to proceed to convict and sentence. If you have any plea, clemency, proceed to do so. So that reminds me of the importance that the Ghana state remains our national capital. The Ghana state remains our national capital, and you play a pivotal role in our governance structures. So once again, have my assurances that Google will roll out the Gemini AI initiative to include all 12 official languages. What was reported was the pilot following their launch. Google wants to invest $1 billion in Africa, and have already invested $37 million in Ghana, and have established the AI Center of Excellence for Research and Innovation in Ghana. And they are working with the University of Ghana and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I indicated to them that President Mahama in Ghana wants to position Ghana as a strategic center for AI innovation and digital technology. I know your personal quest to get digital skills into our young people, and I'm happy once again to invite you in March to chair a national conference to discuss the use of indigenous Ghanaian languages to improve learning outcomes from kindergarten to junior high school. Then I'm also happy to announce that I'll make a personal donation of 100,000 to the Your Education Trust Fund. I thank you.
His Royal Majesty, the King of the Ghans, eminent paramount chiefs, queen mothers, and other personalities gathered here. Honorable Minister of Education, you are welcome to the Mantse Palace. And one of the reasons why we needed to see you and talk about issues had to do with this artificial intelligence language tools, which was going to be introduced into the Ghana educational system. As a matter of fact, the Ghana Traditional Council had a meeting awaiting your arrival to deal with these issues. We have a few points to deliberate on, but you have taken the steam out of us. I'm sure where you slept last night, you have to go back to that place. Thankfully, God has spoken to you, and your trip to England to meet Gogo was very relevant and on time and on point. You've come with a renewed and refreshed agenda which pacifies the Ghana state. Thank you very much, and God bless you. But as a matter of fact, the proposed integration of artificial intelligence language tools in the educational system in the last few days, per certain publications we saw on social media and other platforms, eyebrows had been raised in the entire Ghana state, and the Ghana Traditional Council, upon very fruitful deliberations, decided to have a word with you, because we need to share the concerns of the people. But like I said, you've taken the steam out of us. But we have a few points to deliberate on, and we would also package a press communique to you officially whilst you leave the premises. We have this to say: after extensive deliberations, the Ghana Traditional Council have identified a few points we would want to hand over to you for your immediate attention. The first one is the inclusion of Ga and Dangme in the core curricula of Greater Accra region. The Ghana state requests that Ga and Dangme be formally designated as compulsory subjects within the basic schools curricula across the Greater Accra region, reflecting the linguistic identity of the indigenous communities of the capital. Number 2, integration of Ga into proposed artificial intelligence language pilots, which you have deliberated with us. So for purposes of speedy dealings with the issues, I'll skip that point, which is number 2, because like I said, you've taken the steam out of us. There will be no need for us to deliberate on it, since there is a real agenda to ensure that 12 languages would all be part of the artificial intelligence language tools. The third one is government commitment to protect and promote the Ga language. The Ghana state requires a clear policy commitment from the ministry, affirming that the government of Ghana will intentionally safeguard, develop, and promote the Ga language as a national cultural asset, with structured programs for preservation, digitization, and modernization. Number 4, posting of Ga and Dangme language teachers within Greater Accra. The Ga state further requests that all graduates specializing in Ga and Dangme language education must be posted within the Greater Accra region upon completion of their training, ensuring that schools in the region have adequate staffing to deliver high-quality instruction in the indigenous languages. Number 5, development and signing of a Ga-Dangme language policy memorandum of understanding, MOU. Further, the Ghana state requests the Ministry of Education sign a dedicated memorandum of understanding, MOU, with the Ghana state, outlining a long-term policy framework for the teaching, promotion, and technological development of Ga and Dangme languages. Number 6, establishment of a legal and administrative framework for implementation. The Ghana state, represented by the Ghana Traditional Council, expresses its readiness to collaborate with the Ghana Education Service to develop a mutually agreed legal and administrative framework that will guide the implementation of the MOU and ensure accountability, continuity, and measurable outcomes. Number 7, recognition of the cultural and historical role of the Ga people in the capital. The ministry is urged to formally acknowledge the cultural, historical, and constitutional significance of the Ga people as custodians of the capital, and to reflect this recognition through equitable language policy decisions. The last one, which is number 8, regular consultation mechanism between the ministry and the Ghana state. A structured consultation platform should be established to allow ongoing dialogue between the Ministry of Education, the Ghana State, and relevant stakeholders to monitor progress, address challenges, and ensure sustained collaboration. Honorable Minister, one very important point which we raised in the issues we have stated so far has to do with a situation where there are numerous Ghana teachers who studied at Winneba, qualified, and have been posted outside Accra, whereas their services are actually needed in the capital city. Thank you very much on behalf of NIGA.
Ni autograph ni di council traditional council you move you ne ka ni kane to for me en wo share da fa che asma ba mu bi mo na Shra Majesty Shiba phobia abo chama gani me yeah
the chami again
do jambutu
Honorable Minister of Education, the Honorable Haruna Iddrisu. Okay, what if you are Deputy Local Government Minister or MP for Dododio Care, MP for Kankwe
South,
North and South.
Education.
One man Waga unupai mita nidroge. Lawyer, the Honorable Ambassador Amaka Amate Few, Ambassador Pakalote, now Koko Amate Few, or Professor Nikwe, who are PNA. Miha Yafe Manye, ni Miha Yafihu, Afina ya ni Ebani na Wafe. What's happening there? No me why wala me ni waga ka egbeno.
Yeah.
Ni wonya kashi.
Nakai.
O mami Lime Bruce. Here papo no. Lillian Bruce. Honorable Minister, if you can give more what really about
yeah.
Ni Bodenchole. Akeshi waga Dangme we more eji money wo oji
and the quality
ni ke wo kwe ni wa Accra wo ba wo we mo wo machine and quality sane e ba gba wona e ba gba yi no ya bi ko me hu ana
swampa
wo ga ba la je ni anan isedon
mo
or we money waga wo here it's more matimi
nakai
so mo ake no efe fa o kole nakai
yeah
no ke wo we mo afefe mo
nakai
shina mo papa hi wakabotin
mo
no kwe ni waga achon ke Dangme achon your schools fair amre
nakai
no he hia wo wa agbene ne ke AI no ne mina kesin keba one institution ake chieftaincy alo olomo yelie e ba yebu awo wa denche
and quality
eja ke noni minto ni oleji blofocho no ko transcribing
nakai
keba wo court kesane yeli nke woye gan AI2 ne
mo
AI1 don akesin ke awe blofo no AI ne ba jaje no ke ba gamero agbere meni nu blofo ko tomo mi gan be ambanu sisi ni agbene sanie ba ya le boni water wole
yemo
no ba ve melon ehawo
nakai
wo okwe tomo bono wo shin ni afile na kan pepe ni game te Dangme me anaminche
swampa
Honorable Minister wole akesin ohiewa ni ohie kashi
yeah
wole akesin nutumo ni waga wo din ne o tun le pepe ihawo
yeah
what's a kwe game Dangme, wada bushi. Cha no manyaba.
Yeah.
So I have no authority to respond to you than to comply. Be assured that in the deployment of teachers, we will abide by your guidance to know who to post where and when, and have my assurance that I will do everything possible, not just to protect it, but to promote indigenous languages, including Dangme. When I came in Niga, I thought that we could discuss football, so I'll discuss the future of Great Olympics with my seniors in law.
I will discuss Haruna with you.
Yeah, his senior brother Nick is my personal friend, and we work together very closely. Pakalote, one of our brilliant foreign service officers, I was telling him that in my travel, 2 institutions still assure me that in Ghana, we can trust the judgment of our foreign service officers and the men in uniform of the Ghana Armed Forces in their professionalism. So I don't intend to respond to you. I've taken note of it. Jimny will include Ga, Dangme, and the 12 other languages. Would hold the conference on the indigenous language subject to NIGA's availability. I'll bring in experts, even as I said, from Oxford, who've done a paper on the relationship between use of indigenous local languages and improved learning outcomes. They'll come to speak with us, and President Mahama will be better guided to promote multilingualism in Ghana, recognizing that the Ghana state doesn't just host the national capital. Administratively, what we do here is guided by you. I thank you once again.